This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
On the news this evening, fire in a Bonima Wharf in Port Harcourt. Gunmen robbed bank ATM inside River State University. Plateau State government reimposes 24-hour curfew on Jos North. Defense headquarters react to claims CCTV at Nigerian Defense Academy wasn't manned during yesterday's attack. Resident doctors continue strike despite court order. And on the foreign scene, evacuations from Kabul airport in Afghanistan intensifies. I am Carl Orakwue with the news. At least 3 people were injured today following a fire outbreak at the Bonima Wharf in Port Harcourt. The blaze caused panic in the area as online videos showed at least 20 petrol tankers attempting to move away from the scene at the same time. The online videos showed firefighters at the scene and individuals rallying to help put out the fire. The cause of the fire is still unclear. The injured have been taken to hospital for treatment. Moving on, reports say gunmen dressed in police uniforms robbed the ATM of a bank at the motor park of the River State University. The incident is said to have happened early this morning. Eyewitnesses say the gunmen had ordered the school security personnel on duty to open the gate, after which they tied up the shuttle driver who slept at the park and the security personnel guarding the ATM. The gunmen also took away a commercial shuttle. The amount of money stolen is still unclear. Spokesperson of the River State University, Hackle White, confirmed the incident. Yesterday, Dr. White told our correspondent that the school has stepped up security measures after a student shot dead another student last week, Thursday. The police station is less than 100 meters away from the school. Away from that, Plateau State government has reimposed a 24-hour curfew on Jos North local government area. The Director Press Public Affairs to Governor Simon Lalong, Dr. Makut Macham, announced this in a statement today. He said a 24-hour curfew will come into force from 4 p.m. until further notice. The statement said 10 persons have been arrested in connection with the attack. The gunmen were said to have killed over 30 people and injured several others while setting their houses ablaze. President Muhammadu Buhari says yesterday's attack on the Nigerian Defense Academy will boost rather than dampen the morale of the armed forces to end criminality in the country. A statement by his special media aide, Femi Adesina, said the attack came when the military had put insurgents, bandits, kidnappers and other criminals on the retreat. He, however, commiserated with the families of those who died during the incident. The Defense Headquarters has denied claims that military personnel monitoring the closed-circuit television at the Nigerian Defense Academy were fast asleep when the attack on the facility happened. It also said a board of inquiry has been constituted to ascertain the incidents that led to the security breach. The DHQ disclosed this in a statement by the Director of Defense Information, Major General Benjamin Sawyer. Zamfara State Governor Bello Matawale has called for a state of emergency in the northern part of the country over the security challenges in the region. He made the call today at a meeting with an Assistant Inspector General of Police, Ali Janga, at the Government House in Gusau, the state capital. Still ahead on the news this evening, resident doctors continue strike despite court order. Do stay tuned.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back. Following the predicted heavy flooding in 8 local government areas in Rivers State, the paramount head of Upata Kingdom in Ekpeye land, Eze Felix Utawarikpo, says the traditional council has arranged 2 camps for flood victims.
We have suffered greatly over these past few years. We don't understand why our people are treated differently. As a matter of fact, we have notified some schools to evacuate their students in some parts of their buildings to enable us prepare those places for those that will be affected by the flooding. We have 2 camps, one at Ahoda, one at Akenema, but they are not large enough to accommodate all the victims of the flood disaster.
Isaac King Felix Orakwue, who's also the regent of Akbaya Kingdom, however, appealed to the construction company handling the east-west road to open up the channels in the area to prevent massive loss in the area due to flooding.
This construction of the east-west road has blocked the water channels. If those water channels are opened up, of course there will be movement of water from the Orakwue River straight to the Sombrero River. But those water channels that normally take water coming from Orakwue to Sombrero have been blocked. And so it's difficult for water to pass through. And this water pull back. And this is what is causing this level of damage to our communities. If that is addressed, we will not be having this kind of impact our people are facing.
The local government areas predicted to experience heavy flooding this year include Ahoda East and West, Ogbagbemendoni, Andoni, Abwa Odua, Port Harcourt City, Gokana, and Okrika. A National Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, says its strike continues despite the order by the National Industrial Court that the association call off the industrial action. Secretary General NARD Jerry Isogun told correspondent Martha Okere that the court order is confusing, as another aspect of the order said all parties should maintain status quo.
Whereas Minister of Labour are giving it an interpretation, a lawyer is giving another interpretation. Also, another confusing part of it is that you cannot give a judgment on behalf of the sender, and you have not even heard from them. So the status quo is still the same according to the judgment. The status quo that we know is that there is strike. However, we are looking forward to the resolution of this issue. We are hoping that any moment from now, federal government would have done things that they are set out to do, and this strike will be further.
In the meantime, health service delivery at the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital has remained slow, both at the accident and emergency ward and for outpatient services. A rise in sicknesses like common cold usually follow constant heavy rains annually, and this year has been no different. But the Delta variant outbreak of COVID-19 brings new concerns due to the similarity in symptoms with regular illnesses recorded during the rainy season. Amidst efforts by federal government to vaccinate at least half the country's population against COVID, spokesperson of the Nigerian Medical Association NMA in Rivers State, Irene Obuzo, tells correspondent Choma Ezenwafo that there's need to intensify precautionary measures against COVID-19 to reduce the daily rise in both the Delta variant and other illnesses.
Generally, all we have to do is just continue to take our precautions, because whether it is the COVID-19 or whether it is the other viruses that usually cause common cold and all that, either way, the preventive measures are still the same. It is still the same thing, which is hand washing and maintaining some kind of safe distance from people who are sick and all that. So it's generally the same precautionary measures. So whatever it is that we attribute it to, we still need to be careful either way.
As you may know, the symptoms of the Delta variant appears to be the same as the original version of COVID-19, which are more like those of a common cold, such as cough, fever or headache, with the addition of significant loss of smell. A national president of the Committee for the Defense of Human Rights in Edo State, Osagio Bayuana, says the order by the Edo State government for residents to show evidence that they have taken at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine before they can be allowed to attend church, mosques, banks and other large gatherings is an abuse of human rights and cannot work. In an interview with Nigeria Info, he said there are no vaccines enough for the population and that the government lacks the manpower to effect the directive, even if it wanted to.
It's an extreme measure. It portrays the level of panic that is, in my view, totally unjustifiable. The violation of the rights of the people in many respects, principal among which is the basic tenet of healthcare delivery. To me, it's totally unjustifiable. For workers who are paid their salaries through their bank accounts, you say they cannot have access to their funds unless they show certificate that they have been vaccinated. It's compulsion. The right to religious belief and practice is a constitutional right.
Mr. Bayuana, who's also a former Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Edo State, said the order by the government can be seen as indirectly compelling people to take the COVID vaccine.
the whole thing is just a post, an empty post. I don't even see the state possessing the administrative machinery. You know how many churches we have in Nigeria or in Edo State? There are churches that worship on Saturdays. There are those that worship on Sundays. The mosques on Friday. Can the state post of enough administrative staff working hand in hand with the police to man all churches? Even the vaccination process. How widespread is it? There are people right now who voluntarily want to be vaccinated. But where are the facilities? Do we even have the vaccinations?
In business news, unions of airport workers say the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria FAN will be put at a disadvantage of bearing a $1 billion repayment loan if the federal government continues with its concession policy. The union said the economics of the concession does not add up. In entertainment, Alex Ikubo and his model fiancée, Fancy Acholonu, have unfollowed each other on Instagram. The couple, who got engaged in May, was set to wed in November, and there have been speculations of a breakup after they stopped following each other and stopped posting about the upcoming wedding. Sporting news, FIFA President Gianni Infantino has urged the English Premier League and others to ensure the release of international players for the upcoming FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Infantino said this in a statement on FIFA's website today after the EPL said it will not release players for matches in COVID-19 red list countries.
And now we'll bring you news from around the world.
Evacuations from Kabul airport in Afghanistan has picked up, with the total number leaving since the Taliban takeover reaching over 82,000. U.S. President Joe Biden says he aims to complete the operation and U.S. troop pullout by August 31 deadline. Some U.S. troops have already started to leave as the effort enters its final phase. There are fears, however, that thousands of Afghans who wish to flee the Taliban may be left behind. Taliban says Afghans should not go to Kabul airport or try to leave the country. And that does it here on the news this evening. But before we go, here's a quick look at the major stories. Earlier on, we told you at least 3 people were injured today following a fire outbreak at the Abonima Wharf in Port Harcourt. You heard reports of gunmen dressed in police uniform who robbed the bank ATM at the motor park of the Rivers State University. We told you the Plateau State government has reimposed a 24-hour curfew on Jos North. You heard the Defence Headquarters has denied claims CCTV at Nigerian Defence Academy wasn't manned during yesterday's attack. Resident doctors are to continue their strike despite a court order. And from the foreign scene, we told you evacuations from Kabul airport in Afghanistan has intensified. The news was edited by Choma Ezenwafo. For breaking news stories and eyewitness reports, to contact our newsroom on 0818 900 0017. However, do feel free to visit www.nigeriainfo.fm for more news stories. Cloudy weather is expected in Port Harcourt this evening. I am Carl Orakwue. Do enjoy the rest of the evening.